Hey, you know what would be really cool? What? If they made a phone look like your pants. No, bro, why would you want that? Oh, I thought maybe that you'd think that's a pretty cool idea. And why? Because I just got the brand new POCO F8 Ultra in denim blue and I was really excited to show someone what it looks like. Nah man, I'm really happy with my POCO F8 Pro in titanium silver. Oh, that's cool. And is it actually made from titanium? It's not every day that a flagship is replaced just 8 months later, but today POCO announced two very impressive upgrades over the F7 series devices which launched in March this year. Lo and behold, the POCO F8 Pro and F8 Ultra. I'm not sure about you, but if I dropped say $700 on the best device from a company just 8 months ago, I might be kinda pissed off that it's already been replaced. Or I might be excited to be able to upgrade even sooner. I guess it really comes down to you and maybe your wallet. Well, if you have the extra money and don't need another charging block, then one of these might be for you. Since this time around, neither of them come with one in the box. They do still come with a charging cable and a cover though. I don't know exact pricing yet, but I've been told that the Pro will cost roughly $50 more and the Ultra will be $50 to $100 more. So we're looking at a starting price of $550 for the Pro and $700 to $750 for the Ultra. I'll be sure to drop official prices down below as well as any links for early bird specials. And while the price hike might make you think twice, I think there's enough here to justify that price increase. We'll get to the phones in a minute, but POCO also announced a couple tablets, and I have the Pad M1 here with me today, and apparently it's going to retail for $350. Unlike the phones, it does come with a charger in the box. It packs in a massive 12,000 mAh battery to support its huge 12.1-inch 120Hz 2.5K display. It has a headphone jack, 4 speakers, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 chipset, along with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, which can be expanded by an extra 2 terabytes thanks to SD card support. There's a case for it too, as well as a keyboard cover and a pen. Again, I'll leave pricing and links down below. The phone's battery size is of course less than that of the tablet, but this is where the first proper upgrade comes in. The Pro's jumps up to 6,210 mAh and the Ultra sits at 6,500. That's a 1,200 mAh increase for the Ultra. And this time, the Ultra actually has a larger battery than the Pro, as it should. They also both have 100-watt wired charging, which is extremely fast, but only the Ultra benefits from wireless charging and it sits at 50 watts. The F7 series brought new designs, but for some reason the F8 series have gone back to designs similar to the F6 series, and I'm a bit bummed about that because I really like the refresh of the F7 phones. I guess it makes sense to stick to Xiaomi's design language and other recent flagships. Unlike other recent phones, the titanium silver color Pro, which I have, is not made from titanium. It's just the color name. But I mean, it looks nice and the matte back glass feels great, though it does pick up quite a few fingerprints, and so does that glossy camera module. The mix between matte and gloss does look pretty cool though. The black Ultra is made from glass fiber, but I have the denim blue variant and it kinda feels like waterproof denim, if that makes sense. It's made from nanotech material and it feels nice. I'm just not sure how I feel about it. I mean, it looks cool, especially with that dual tone finish thanks to that metal camera bump. But I mean, I don't really know if anyone's ever been like, you know what would be cool? A phone that looked like jeans, you know, denim pants that kind of look like this. I mean, it's a nice concept, but would you buy one? What I will say though is that it's really nice to hold, but then there's the question of wear. And apparently it is dust and wear protected, and it has this nice silicone feel to it, so I'm pretty sure it'll be alright in the long run. The good news is that both the Pro and the Ultra still have an IP68 dust and water certification. They also both have flat metal frames which complement their flat backs. And I'm not sure you noticed, but written on both their camera islands is sound by Bose. And that's where the next proper upgrade comes in. They both have the same dual speakers, tuned by Bose, but only the Ultra has a third speaker on its back, which is actually a subwoofer. It sounds so good in person, so do give it a try if you can. And even though it's really hard to show it properly on video, here's a speaker test. Screen protection is the exact same as last time though. The Pro uses the same Gorilla Glass 7i and the Ultra has POCO Shield Glass, so it's a little bit stronger. They also both have always-on displays which can be permanently enabled, and they still have ultrasonic fingerprint sensors, so they just need a tap to unlock. Last time they shared the exact same display, but this time they are completely different and fully upgraded from the F7 models. They both have flat AMOLED panels, the one is bigger, the one is smaller, but they both use something called Hyper RGB tech to enhance colors and clarity while keeping power consumption down. The F8 Pro is smaller with a 6.59-inch screen and the Ultra is larger at 6.9 inches. They both still have 12-bit color depth, their resolutions have actually dropped, but I doubt you'd notice, and they still have non-LTPO 120Hz refresh rates, 480Hz touch sampling rates, and 2560Hz instant touch sampling rates. But this time their brightness can drop down to as low as 1 nit and their peak brightness levels have increased to 3500 nits, which now covers a larger display area. So batteries are larger, speakers are better, and the displays have been upgraded. But one of the main reasons people upgrade their phone every year is for a bump in performance. Thankfully, both of them are using new chipsets. The Pro uses last year's Snapdragon 8 Elite, and the Ultra uses the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 CPU. And they both now have faster LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.1 storage, so it's no surprise to see improved benchmark scores across the board. The Ultra takes things up a notch by also including a dedicated gaming chip, the Vision Boost D8. And while they both have cooling systems, the Pro uses a new 3D triple layer system, and the Ultra uses a 3D dual-channel, dual-layer system. So don't get confused, the Ultra still has better cooling, but strangely enough, the Ultra actually felt hotter in the hand while playing games. Speaking of, the Pro actually performed a tad better when playing Genshin Impact on maxed out settings, but it was the opposite when playing Wuthering Waves on max settings, which is a much more demanding game by the way. The Ultra was also quite a bit more stable, and when I tested out the console port of Bright Memory Infinite, which is very demanding and can utilize their 120Hz screens, the Ultra averaged a high FPS as well. To be honest, I wouldn't really choose one over the other if I'm deciding purely based on performance, since phones have kind of already reached the peak of what they can actually do. What I will say though is that the new Snapdragon chip inside the Ultra is a little bit more stable in terms of FPS, and it's more consistent when playing for a longer period. They both come with HyperOS 3 skinned over Android 16 out the box, which looks pretty similar to OS 2, but there's now Hyper Island wrapping around their selfie cameras, Hyper Connect for seamless interconnection, and Hyper AI, which offers a fleet of AI features, including Google goodies like Discover, Circle to Search, and Gemini. They also both have flagship haptic feedback, but the Ultra's feels a bit better. They both have NFC for payments, of course, but this time they both offer eSIM support, which is a big deal considering the F7 series lacked this completely. Alright, quick price check here. Bigger batteries, better speakers, better screens, better performance, better software, and now finally eSIM support. These are both shaping up to be worth the extra cash. But what about cameras? Well, the Pro uses the same selfie, main, and ultra-wide cameras last time, but the 2.5 times telephoto from the F7 Ultra has now jumped onto the F8 Pro. The F7 Pro didn't have a telephoto at all, so that's a nice upgrade. That telephoto still lacks OIS though. Every single camera sensor on the Ultra has actually been upgraded, and the periscope is actually the same one that we see on the Xiaomi 15T Pro, which offers 5 times optical zoom with OIS. The selfie camera has seen an upgrade too. The main is now larger, and the ultra-wide is now a proper 50 megapixel sensor. So it takes much more detailed ultra-wides than the Pro, but it has a much narrower focal length. So can this even be classified as an ultra-wide camera? The main on the Ultra is of course also more detailed and color accurate than the Pro, but the Pro still looks very good. And because of the Ultra's new main sensor, its digital zoom looks just as good as the Pro's 2.5 times telephoto shot. The Pro offers 5 times lossless zoom, but the 5 times optical zoom from the Ultra's periscope is of course a step ahead, but I wouldn't say by that much. There is a very big difference when zooming in by 10 times though, thanks to the Ultra's 10 times lossless zoom, and it's even more noticeable at 30 times, with both relying on AI ultra zoom. But the F7 Pro could only reach 20 times last time out. I assumed that the F8 Pro would reach 60 times though, since the F7 Ultra could do that and it used the same telephoto. The F8 Ultra can stretch further now at 100 times, and it looks decent. I also thought that the F8 Pro would have a better super macro mode, but its minimum focus distance is 50 centimeters. I then realized that the F7 Ultra's telephoto sat on a floating mechanism and the F8 Pro's doesn't. The F8 Ultra's macro comes out very, very good. Telephoto portraits on both are a bit washed out, but the Ultra comes out better, and so do portraits when using the main sensor. I actually kinda prefer selfies from the Pro, but the Ultra seems to offer better tonal range. The Pro comes out more detailed at night though, but the Ultra takes the better portrait snap. It also takes a much better portrait when using the main camera, but for some reason they both revert to their mains when taking a telephoto portrait. And yes, I have disabled the adaptive telephoto feature in camera settings. They only did this in portrait mode. When taking the same telephoto shots in normal photo mode, they did use their telephotos, but photos didn't really come out looking the best. The Pro's ultra-wide seems to offer better dynamic range at night, and again, the Ultra's field of view isn't exactly the widest. The Ultra once again takes a much better main photo at night, and I was really surprised to see the Ultra's cropped in main camera take a better zoom shot than the Pro's 2.5 times optical zoom. There's a massive difference at 5 times zoom as well. The Ultra's periscope takes a very good optical shot, and at 10 times it's an even bigger difference. I wouldn't exactly brag about the Pro's 30x shot at night, and somehow the Ultra manages to keep detail rather visible even at its max 100 times zoom. The field of view from the Ultra's ultra-wide might not be the widest, but it can shoot 4K 60fps video, which is a huge upgrade. The Pro is still stuck at 1080p here. They can both still shoot 4K 60fps main video, but the Ultra looks a lot better and it's more stable too, even though it was seriously windy on the day I took this. Their telephotos can record 4K 60fps video, and I was quite surprised how smooth footage came out on both. Panning with them is very stable and detail looks great too, especially when you consider how much wind there was. They can record 1080p slow motion video at 960fps, but the Pro can only do this with its main camera. They both still offer 8K video, but just like last time, it's limited to their main cameras only. And while there is a portrait video mode, it's again limited to a 1080p resolution. You can shoot portrait video with their telephotos too, but regular 4K video comes out looking a lot better, and they both offer nice natural depth, with the Ultra coming out looking a bit more detailed. And there's portrait video for their selfies as well, but again they're locked at 1080p. They can both record selfie video at 1080p 60fps, but only the Ultra can shoot 4K 30fps selfie video. I'm actually really pleased to see that the Ultra actually has 4K selfie video this time around, because last time it didn't, but it is unfortunately capped at 30fps when you are recording 4K selfie video on the Ultra, that is. I'm also using the smart noise reduction microphone feature on both of them because it is a bit windy here today, so let me know your thoughts on their video quality as well as their microphone performance. It's great that the Ultra now has 4K selfie video, but unfortunately it suffers from even more noise grain when filming at night. Noise grain is worse on the Pro when recording ultra-wide video at night, but neither of them are very good. Main video is quite a bit better on the Ultra, and it's more stable too, even with the wind blasting. But neither of them are very good at handling light noise when recording at night. Telephoto video is a bit more exposed on the Ultra at night, but they both suffer from noise grain, light noise, and lens flare. But panning is pretty smooth on both, even in such a dark situation. I wouldn't exactly go out and buy one just for camera performance. I mean, they're fine. The Ultra is better, but if post-processing was a bit better, then I feel like it would be a bit of a different situation because the camera hardware is actually really good. But combine this camera performance with everything else, and these are some pretty solid upgrades. And there's quite a bit of everything else. Battery sizes are up, design is different and unique. Their displays have been upgraded and now have slimmer bezels. Speakers are significantly better, performance has improved thanks to the new chipsets, software is more refined, we now finally get eSIM support, and camera hardware is now better too. If you ask me, I think these upgrades justify the price increase. The F8 Ultra is definitely worth the upgrade, but if you're looking at the Pro, then maybe it's worth having a look at getting an F7 Ultra on special. Unless you need a bigger battery and eSIM support, of course. As always, this is TechNick, and I'll catch you in the next one.